You're listening to Well, I Laughed, Part 3 of Triple Threat, Listener Episode.
Okay, one, really nice thing you just said about me. Two, thank you for doing all the work.
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Recognition, thank you.
On this topic, though,
yes.
Did you see that International Women's Day was the day we leaped forward? So on International Women's Day,
so fucked
you
up.
guys got 23 hours. It's obviously not funny,
Whoa.
but it's like,
That's wildly fucked up.
I know it is.
But it also cured my seasonal depressive disorder.
Good.
So, I mean, like, you win some, you lose some.
It's doing a lot for a lot of people. It's
It is.
justifying mid-afternoon naps where you wake up and it's still a little
because
bright
that's
outside.
the only reason I wasn't taking them.
Yes.
It turns out.
You were just going to pre-bed.
Yeah.
You know, it's like an
It
appetizer.
was just sad.
Right.
Yeah.
It's that thing that appetizers are never supposed to do but always end up doing, which is make you
Fill
kind
you
of
up.
full for dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Don't tell any of our parents that.
No, I know.
Don't fill up before dinner.
Well, the good news is I think my parents at least have stopped keeping up to date with the podcast. I think they drop in every now and then, but
that's fair enough.
they've let me know they're busy people with busy lives. So.
I love a good busy person with a busy life. I mean, they are. I can't keep up with this content.
No, it's okay.
I love when
Dang.
Casey edits because then I get to tune into the podcast because I've never heard it before. And I'm like,
that's funny.
what did I say this time?
Well, it's also always super funny when a new episode drops and then our like social media accounts get a brand new wave of like memes and videos that are
That
in
I
reference
can't
to
remember.
something. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
The episode we asked you all to write in 7 words, comma, gin and tonic.
Oh,
we
yeah.
got like 18 of them in an hour. And I was like, Maya, what does this mean? I don't remember. Is it a trend on the internet now? I haven't been online much today.
And I wouldn't know. So.
But speaking of busy schedules, so this weekend was a busy one for me because, as some of you might remember, I've talked about it a little bit. I have been like in the process of like selling my house and moving to a different part of the city. And the update I'm excited to share with you guys today is that I am officially moved out of my house. My house is sold. I am living in Jacob and Lydia's basement, much like a sitcom.
Yeah, so get ready for the sitcom.
Yeah, get ready for the stories and then get ready for my like weekend adventures over at Maya and Casey's because
He walked over here today. It was very exciting for everyone.
had my little New Yorker bag and my
Yeah.
little Keith Haring hat
Yeah.
on. Anyways, something that I have come to learn having now moved out of my home. And here's the headline for you.
Grant Thomas is not having fun.
Everyone thinks they could get away with the perfect murder, and I'm here to tell you, no, you could not.
Bet.
The level of cleaning is insane.
Bet.
I'm a clean person.
I'm not.
Okay. No, you're pretty clean.
Yeah, I mean, I clean well. I think Casey and I are about the same level of clean. I think he maintains a cleaner level of clean than I do. But when I clean, the clean that I leave it at is a lot cleaner than his would be.
And I'm going to pretend to fully understand what
Yeah,
you
that was
just
a lot of
said.
cleans in one sentence.
So I like to think I'm a clean person. Like
Yeah.
I'm not really a dishes in the sink person. Like
Mm.
if I have like a late night snack, yeah, that dish is getting left in the sink, right? But like
yeah.
the turnover time is less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
This isn't a brag. This is the deep anxiety I was raised with. And so I think I'm a clean person, right? I'm also a minimalist. So when you move out of a home, you don't just have to clean it well enough for your like friends to come over.
You have to clean it like
Yeah.
clean.
You have to
Yeah.
erase the memory of you there.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you this. You're not ready to face what you have done to a bathroom. Okay?
I'm never ready to face what I have done to a wall with the amount of decor that I put up. I didn't even have to handle the last one
Yeah.
because I had a lot of mental health crises over that weekend, but Casey did.
Here's
so,
the thing. So before I continue with the bathroom stuff, 10 seconds. When you're moving out of a place,
Yeah.
especially if you owned it and now someone else owns it, do not take the nails out of the wall. Because there is a chance that as you take the nails out of the wall, you have damaged drywall. And if you damage drywall, you are now responsible for the damage you have done to the physical property. However,
I think you're
they
underestimating.
oftentimes buy it as is, which
Oh.
meant nails were in the walls when you signed it, babes. Okay.
I forgot we're talking about buying, not
Yeah.
renting. I
Try
was
not
like,
to form emotional connections to nails.
it's like you didn't see how many nails were still in the wall at my gallery wall.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I remember the wall.
Yeah.
So there I am, cleaning this bathroom.
Barbecue sauce on my titty.
Right. No, for reals. Like, tits out, girl. Like, absolutely. Like, bandana on, shares believe, blasting in my ears, scrubbing. And it's like that soften scrub, which is actually just bleach in like a gel form, essentially.
Yeah.
And I have cleaning gloves on that like cinch at my wrist, and bleach is getting underneath them, and I'm scrubbing away, and I'm like, how do people leave no trace of themselves without fire? Like, I don't understand.
Just burn it down, restart.
This scratch on my knuckle
ow.
is a chemical burn. Yeah, I did not scrape myself while cleaning, and I stripped off a good 3 layers of skin from my hand
it looks
on
baby
Sunday.
soft.
It's because of the massive amounts of lotion I have been using today to take care of it all, which is where I'm going to wrap up this whole little shindig about like how I had to deep clean a bathroom, and it was apparently the most traumatic thing I ever went through. Today, one of the kids...
dramatic? I have no idea.
Today, one of the kids was like, hey, Mr. Thomas, can you email such and such and let him know I'm here? I go, I will in like 30 minutes. I just put a fresh layer of lotion on.
And I can't touch anything now.
Yeah. I was like, much like a lizard after they shed their skin, I'm like really vulnerable the next 30 minutes. But once this dries, I'm all up in it, kiddo. Don't you worry about it. Go ahead and send me a reminder email right now on your computer, so that way when this is dry in 30 minutes, I don't forget. Thanks so much.
God, you're intolerable.
I'm an award-winning teacher.
I know, which is wild to me.
And intolerable. So that's been my day. Moving stuff out, get a bigger U-Haul than you think you're going to need. Don't try to save the extra $10.
See, I always get too big of a U-Haul.
You're just rolling around in the back yourself.
You should have seen the last U-Haul I got. I got like a full semi. We filled a quarter of it.
Crazy that people are even like, the government's like, yeah, it's totally fine. Like, these people who drive sedans should absolutely be able to operate.
Oh, it's every time I get in one.
City bus level vehicle.
The last time I did it, I was driving into Denver. Like, and I'm not, at that point, I wasn't used to driving in those city streets. And I was like, this vehicle is too big to be I should have been cut off before I passed 25.
I keep checking my mirrors, but not like the mirrors where you can see other cars. The mirrors where you can see your own tires to make sure I'm even within the lane that I'm supposed to be in.
Yes.
And then Lydia's riding with me in the truck because Lydia loves an experience, right?
100%.
So she climbs into the cab with me, and she's all fine when we're going uphill a little bit because the storage unit I'm renting is north of Denver, just a smidge. So she's all fine when we're going like kind of north of Denver because it's all kind of uphill. And so we're on the interstate, and I'm going 45 miles per hour. Like, I'm juicing
classic,
it.
yeah.
And then we round this like kind of hill just north of Thornton.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of really downhill for quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
At one point, Lydia goes, hey, just go ahead and test the brakes real quick. Make sure that we can brake. Friends, we were going 65 miles per hour. But she's like, just go ahead and make sure that like we can stop this U-Haul if we need to.
She's like, go ahead and brake check the person behind you.
Exactly. They'll be fine. But just for my own comfort, let me know if I can stop. So that's been moving so far. It's been funny. It's been wonderful. I'll save all the sitcom stories as the episodes come.
Because as it turns out, he's been living with them for like 48 hours, and they're already on vacation.
They're already tired of me.
Yeah. They were like, bye. You know how to use an espresso.
Lydia, when you hear this in a couple weeks, LOL, text me right away. They have their like master bathroom with this like gorgeous,
Primary.
Right? Thank you.
Yeah.
With this like gorgeous walk-in shower.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
I do love it. Yeah.
And then on the main floor, they have this clawfoot tub, which is awesome.
It's beautiful, but
right, you have to literally like
terrifying
high
to
jump
use,
into it, and then it has the shower curtain all the way around. So if you've ever wanted to shower in a womb, like you can.
I would get so car sick.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times before. Not even in this one, like in various clawfoot tubs.
Yeah.
I live an extravagant lifestyle. So this morning they're not in the house when I wake up, and I have 2 options: womb shower or gorgeous primary bathroom on the second floor. Yeah, 100%.
Gorgeous primary
so
bath.
literally, I did wait until the morning you guys returned before I started to use the shower you set up for me. And I appreciate you. Okay, that's for all the updates in my life right now.
Honestly, yeah. It's been a while since we've recorded because we didn't record last week. I have some notes here, and I did that thing. Where I don't know what at least 2 of them are.
Where in the moment you're like, there's no way I could forget the story.
Yeah. Every time. And then every time I'm in the moment, I'm like, I don't need to type all of these words. Like, I'm being extra. And then I don't. And then I don't remember. Anyway, the first one I do kind of remember. This was after, of course, because we're the phenomenal, amazing, perfect, could never do anything wrong friends to Grant. Casey, me, Lydia, and Jacob helped him judge national qualifiers.
Yes. They really are so good.
Yeah. If you're wondering what the payment's like on that, don't. Never do it for the money.
Listen, you guys think the pay is awful. That is our most extravagant tournament when it comes to judge pay. That's as good as it gets in our community.
And we burned it all in one night at the pizza place. So we went to the pizza place afterwards to like celebrate or like, I don't know, unwind. Grant had some people qualify for nationals. I don't know. I'm tired of talking about how good he is at his job. And at one point you said very loudly and very proudly, because we were talking about your students, you're like, isn't it just kind of amazing? You just kind of become like the Jane Goodall of high schoolers.
That's right.
And I was like, what?
Really
I think it was because we were talking like, why did they do that? And you're like, oh, it's because so-and-so likes this person.
Right.
And then you gotta...
Unless you're sitting in the ecosystem, the songs don't make sense.
This next one, I have no memory of what this is. Wait, okay. It's coming to me a little bit. It just says, you're playing chicken with a vehicle. I think
that
Lydia
sounds like something I
said it.
would say. Okay, Lydia
I think
said
Lydia
it.
said it with the vehicle. I don't know what. I think maybe Jacob was like walking in the middle of the street or something.
Oh, yes.
Was that?
No, Lydia was walking in the middle of the street and a car was coming towards her.
Oh, wow.
She was like, they'll see me.
You're playing chicken with a vehicle. Good.
While on the teacher story a little bit, every now and then I have teacher friends that'll text me and reach out and they'll be like, oh my God, the thing you just said is so true.
Yeah.
The one that happened most recently was 2 children at my desk. This was like a month or 2 ago. 2 children at my desk, and one goes, and apologies for the jump scare here, but like the Trump administration has just banned gender affirming care, and I can't get gender affirming care from any public health facility. Yep. Mm-hmm. And as that person is saying that to me in the exact same tone, someone's going, Mr. Can I go get some chips? I need some chips. Listener, they don't have like diabetes or like blood pressure or blood sugar issues or whatever.
They just wanted chips.
Right. In the same level of urgency. And there's a lot of teachers who are like I get it.
Okay, this next one I have no idea. I'm pretty sure you said it. It's in your font. Grumbling beasts and where the fuck to find them.
Because I couldn't remember the word for where the wild things are. What? So I said grumbling beasts and where the fuck to find them.
Here's the thing, listener. I wasn't blacked out at some point in the night, and this happens frequently now, and it's not blacking out because I do have like solid memories of like being conscious and being there, but my brain, once I'm like drunk enough, my brain just finds safe space and then just forgets certain things. Like once Casey gets me into bed, no memories after that. Like he'll bring me a snacky, he'll tuck me in, no memories because my body is like, great, we're all safe and good night. And so I think there was a few moments where we were all talking in the living room at our place, and my brain was like, we don't need to be here for this.
He can actually take the night off.
Yeah. So I have no memory of him saying
that was me trying to say where the wild things are.
That's hysterical and just incorrect.
So then, is that the end of your list?
Yeah, I think so.
So then there's one more that you were there for on Saturday morning.
Saturday morning?
This last Saturday.
Oh, this last Saturday.
So we all went out on an outing.
Oh, right.
And we're then at a breakfast place afterwards.
Oh.
A breakfast place we had never been to before. And our dear, dear friend Lydia makes 2 solid memories at this breakfast place. First, she manages to, in like 30 seconds, whip up the 4 of us, Jacob, Lydia, Maya, and I, into all agreeing to get stuffed French toast for the table.
That's an appetizer.
Breakfast, infamous for a kind of a lack of appetizers.
Yeah.
Lydia's like, I found something that I want to try. That's not what's going to be my main meal. And she was right. It was actually
she was
good.
Incredible, honestly. I was never not on board with that fact.
And so as we're kind of in the bliss, like post-stuffed French toast, main course coming.
Whatever else it was we ordered.
I'm looking around and I see a picture, and it's like an old-timey diner. Like it is an old-timey diner, and it's leaning hard into that theme.
Yeah.
And I look up and I go, oh, do you guys think that's James Dean? Because it's a picture of James Dean. And so I go, hey, do you think that's a picture of James Dean? And Lydia looks at me and she goes, like the breakfast sausage?
Oh my God.
Like the inventor of Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage nicknamed himself Jimmy and then became a famous sausage mogul. Not like the actor who dated Elizabeth Taylor or whatever tragically died young, like whatever you know James Dean for.
She just inspires me to always ask the question. You know? Yes. Worst case scenario, you learn something.
Florence and the Machine sung about being free.
Yeah.
And it was about Lydia.
It really was. The other funny, great thing that Lydia did, and Lydia, I'm going to tell this story and I want you to know I was never mad at you. Okay, so just,
do I need to stay in the room? Go ahead.
After this brunch, we all went to this flower shop.
Flower shop.
It's a flower shop next door, and that we've always wanted to go to. Lydia and I have both heard of it, and like my high school's over there, so I had never actually been in since they've like renovated or whatever. We went in, and they do this like bouquet happy hour thing where you can go in and pick out a bunch of like single flowers, and they're all half price for what it says. And so we go in and we're looking at the flowers, and I don't know if I didn't hear either Jacob or Grant come in, but I thought there was only 3 of us, or I'd only processed that there was 3 of us. And so Lydia goes, hey, and you guys, just like, I kind of will you guys pick out your own flowers so that I can make like a little bouquet and it'll be on me? And I go, oh, that's so sweet. And I start looking around. And I pick one out, and Grant had handed his to Lydia, and so I hand mine to Lydia, and Lydia just goes, "Oh no, like not you, like not you." And I was like, "What?" And then Grant goes, "That's the most fucked up thing I've ever heard." And Lydia then explained, she was like, "Well, I want it to be like a house because they all have just moved in together, which of course I get now." But I was like, okay.
You're literally holding a flower out to her, and Lydia's going, no. And I'm like, I can't believe what I'm seeing with my own eyes. We've spent 4 hours together already.
Yeah. We've been to 5 different locations just this morning.
Which is classic us. We love an adventure.
Yeah, sure. And then I have some emotional trauma feeling left out, so I get a little quiet, but I do make a little bouquet for Casey because Casey is a golden retriever. If you get him flowers, he will kind of Ferdinand the bull and just kind of stare at those flowers, you know? And so I'm like, and then I just really want to take a nap because I've eaten a lot of breakfast sausage named James Dean and stuffed French toast. And I've also like did not sleep well last night. So I'm gearing down, right? And then everything's fine. Like Lydia texts like, "Hey, I'm sorry if that was like awkward." And I was like, "It's like it was a misunderstanding. Right. It's all fine." And then we're all at dinner that night
because we're just not seeing each other enough.
Apparently, yeah. And we all order drinks, and it takes a while for Lydia and I's drink to come out. And then Lydia's drink comes out, but mine still isn't out. And then she just starts cheersing the table. Like fully aware that my drink is not out and that everyone else has already waited for her to get her drink. And so
she kind of scans the table and lands on you, who's sitting right next to her as like the last person she sees, and kind of goes, "Oh."
Yeah. And then I go, I'm a little toasted at this point, and I just go, "That's the second thing you've left me out of today."
Killed.
I don't think Lydia was quite ready for me to make a joke about it.
No, but Jacob and I were.
Yeah,
we were like, peace has returned to the land. This is good. Yeah. No, I think it's wonderful because we had all seen each other Friday day and then Friday night. And then
Saturday.
And then we all actually walked to the first location because we'd all left our cars there.
Yeah.
And then it was Saturday, brunch flower shop, Saturday evening. And then just Sunday.
Keep this rolling. Keep it going. It's just, you live with them now. So.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a lot of fun. Because I saw you all yesterday too? No, I didn't.
Yesterday I did not get out of my pajamas.
Nope. Okay. Cool. Kind of all blurred together.
I came downstairs at 1 p.m., opened up the windows because it was nice out and there was a little breeze, and then took another nap. Mm-hmm.
This is me remembering I have forgotten to close the window and check up on Lydia's kitchen.
Lydia.
They live in a safe neighborhood.
Okay. If you heard that, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
And friends, if you're like, wow, this is a lot of time together, guys, it's only going to get worse. I sold my house to move closer to them.
Yep.
And now wherever I end up landing, I'm going
to make sure that is picked up by the mics and publish it.
Good.
You didn't see this face of disbelief.
Just promise me you'll make a little note in your phone right now. Write full sentence. That way you don't be like, what does this mean?
That.
If something tragic happens between now and then,
I'll cut it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like you die or
worse. Like I lose this home too.
So those abandonment issues are really going well.
It was 3 times for the selling of my house, 3 times for the buying of a house.
Anyway, I have a new question for you.
Fine.
A new weird question. Remember the owl question?
Yeah.
Okay, change that for those who weren't there. The owl question is how many owls would you have to see in a 24-hour period before you knew something was wrong? Ask
my
your
number
friends.
was like really high.
Yeah, it's either really low or really high, and then their explanations are all crazy. 10 out of 10 recommend asking your friends. Now make those owls Cybertrucks.
Oh. 4.
I was going to say 3.
Just was the neighborhood that we now live in is not one that's friendly to that worldview or that person.
I know exactly who had a Trump sign out on their front yard.
Yeah. Who's no longer invited to the kickback and who you don't want to see at park or whatever.
I haven't ever seen their face. I have seen their dogs, and I feel weird channeling that hatred
towards
to the
a dog.
dogs. Yeah.
Listen, I understand.
What are you saying?
I don't think I need to say anything.
Don't you talk to me or my son ever again.
No, for reals. In this neighborhood, if I saw 4 of them, I'd be like, oh, is there a parade? Gross. Because one time there was a parade in like a biker bar in the foothills as I was on the way to go hike. And it was Pride Month. So I was like, ooh, rainbow bandana. Like, right? And I'm driving and it's like all of these Trump motorcycles, like Trump flag motorcycles, and I'm like, oh my god, it's a parade.
That's so gay of them to be doing.
They love a parade,
which is like, honestly,
most gays I know don't go to the gay pride parade.
No, we don't.
It's the straights that go.
We're only going to the pride parade if we're in it.
Right.
That's the most gay coded thing.
That's a good question. I like that. You saw someone wrote in and they said the Mary Kate Ashley Olsen question of what is the opposite of fire is what their first date question is now.
Good.
They're like, what do you think the opposite of fire is? Mary Kate thinks the opposite of fire is no fire. Ashley thinks the opposite of fire is water. And quote, that just describes them beautifully.
It's an incredible question. I love that. Okay.
We're back. Hi, we picked some stories. I'm actually really excited about the headlines for all these stories.
Yeah, I've read none of them, so. And the first one just really disrespects me, like right off the bat.
Oh.
Anyway, this is from our listener, Mac, she, her. She says, right at the top, you can use my name and pronouns. Thank the Lord. Okay. Grant and Maya, please forgive me, Maya. I will not. Thank you. Moving on. Just kidding. I love you all equally.
As I get more sleep into the spring, I'm going to start moving into a generosity of spirit. Not there yet, but I'm going to start moving in that direction.
The fuck did that have to do with anything?
I'm not going to hold it against you guys like in June or July.
Okay, she just put your name first.
Yeah, I know. That's why I have a generosity of spirit.
Literally, shut up. Okay.
Yes, I know. That's why I said it.
I know nothing bad happened to me. That's why I said I'm great with this. It's like, am I delusional?
I will shut up now. Please go ahead.
I believe it when I see it. I was a theater kid through and through in high school, and the worst experience ever happened when I was in 11th grade. We got a new drama teacher. To keep it anonymous, we can call her like Mrs. Jones. Verbatim. That was also in parentheses. And she was my enemy for real. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we were doing Legally Blonde, and we were supposed to be off book for rehearsal that day. And in our Snapchat cast chat, ooh, that's a tongue twister. Snapchat cast chat. Say that.
Snapchat cast chat. Snapchat cast chat. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's just
I was
chat
about
twice.
To be so
but
mad.
I was like, execute, Grant, execute. Oh, and he misses. Falls off the beam. Costs USA the gold. Go ahead.
Jesus. Snapchat cast chat. Everyone was freaking out. People were saying like, oh, maybe she'll get sick and we won't have to go. Or, oh, maybe the school will burn down. Oh my God. And I said, maybe we'll get lucky and she'll drop dead, LOL. Anyway, some little freshman showed Mrs. Jones my message.
Which one was hers specifically?
She'll drop dead, LOL. Some little freshman showed Mrs. Jones my message. That's a snitch. You don't trust that person.
No, that's
ever.
a lead. I bet they were the understudy.
Shut up.
I just love it.
Never trust a freshman. Never. My message, and she pulled me into her office and threatened to call the cops on me because I was making death threats towards her.
Good.
She painted it like, because I'm such a saint, I won't get law enforcement involved. I hate when they do that. I was bawling. It was horrible. It was also a really bad production, TBH. Damn. All right. Then flash forward to my senior year. The school was doing Footloose, and obviously I chose not to participate, but I wanted to make amends, so I volunteered to costume the show. We had a whole meeting together where I promised not to sabotage her, and I started working that afternoon on costuming everything. I want to know how that... Did she ask, hey, promise to not sabotage me?
Right. I know you've tried to sabotage me in the past. Promise
to not
to
do that
sabotage
again.
me. I'm not speaking about the theater teacher who I work with at my school. She's legitimately wonderful.
Yeah,
a little intimidating, but she just runs a big program. I get it. But I know plenty of other theater teachers. This is my line of the work as a speech and debate coach. I fully believe a grown adult in their 40s would be like, you have sabotaged me in the past, but I'm willing to trust one more time. Like, what a crazy thing to say to a 17-year-old.
High school teachers in the arts really do go a little...
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do it for their art. You know, I mean, I am fully aware.
Okay. She told me, and I have this in writing, that she would email me when I could come in and start doing fittings. I had everything mapped out and all of the costumes pulled in the costume shop, but she never reached out. I heard some friends in the show that she had been trashing me every day in rehearsal, saying that I was unreliable and trying to ruin their show. When I brought it up with her and told her I was waiting for an email, parentheses, you know, the one she said she'd send me, she denied the whole thing and cried and told me I was a horrible person. This woman was a full wife and mother, and at 16, I was her greatest enemy in the world. She got fired the year after I graduated. Anyway, I know the story isn't super funny, but it's so dramatic, and I've never looked back. Love you, love the pod, Mac.
No, and it's so relatable.
That's so good.
We have
Incredible.
had a couple people write in to Instagram especially.
Yeah.
Like, hi, Grant, insert tragic and or relatable backstory about the career they picked not being what they wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And then it ends with, so would you recommend I become a teacher? Or like, what are your thoughts on that? And my answer is always yes. I would absolutely recommend you become a teacher. But then I say to them, and I say to new teachers, you got to find your peace. You got to find your balance. Your biggest op in this world cannot be a 15-year-old. Like your biggest enemy cannot be someone also trying to figure out details for prom. Like you are just going to need a bigger villain in your life. And I understand that you're like, no, they deserve it. Like you've never hated a child so much. Someone has never said something so foul to your face and meant it with their whole heart. You still can't have beef with a 16-year-old. It's just like a rule.
That's beautiful. I hate it. And yeah, the only people that have ever asked about advice on their career has been, should I become an engineer? And they've all pretty conclusively walked away from the decision with no.
No, I'm okay. Thank you. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like, definitely try out teaching for half a decade. Just like kind of let it grow on you for a second. See how it is.
To be fair, the people that are interested in engineering aren't the type to be like, should I become an engineer? They're the type to send a page of questions, and I love it every time. I love talking about myself. So
I've thought a little, I mean,
typing about myself.
We both do. I know, like, obviously, it's I have the stereotype, but like we both kind of love talking about ourselves because we're interesting.
Until it hits like about 5 minutes of no one else saying anything, and then I get anxiety. And then I start saying things I'll regret.
I'm not going to say anything at all.
No, I didn't date a senior.
Did I have a? Anyways, no, I have thought about writing a book like for new teachers about like why education is so cool. But then I've also thought like, I think one of the things I really like about teaching is how much I feel like my work helps guide me through my entire life, like not just my career, right? Like every time I'm in traffic, I am eminently thankful for the amount of patience I have learned in the classroom, right? Like anytime I'm like struggling to like learn something new, I'm like deeply grateful for the moments I've like seen a child like finally master a concept or something.
I've seen you wait for results for things.
Okay, well that's just to prove that I was right. No one likes to wait for that.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying,
you're
though?
patient. Yeah,
But then it's like, then the book changes from like letters to a young teacher, and it changes instead like lessons from lessons.
Will you just plug the podcast whenever you get around to that?
Obviously.
Okay.
Grant Thomas is an award-winning teacher, podcast host, and
Podcast of Well I Laughed. Full thing.
recently 30 and fortunately single. Like we have the bio written.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Friends, if you haven't checked out our bio yet, that's just a little taste.
It's also has not changed like since we started.
But we have a couple of new listeners. We're approaching
Yeah.
year 3, the start of year 3, end of year 2, start of year
End
3.
of year 2. Yeah.
All right, next story. Hello, pals,
I like it.
buddies, Mant, Greya. Let's just go with best podcasters in the world.
I like this one.
I like this one, too.
This one's good. That's good.
Wait,
if
is
we
this-
Pavlov's dog them to just start addressing us as best podcast hosts in the world.
So what we need you guys to do is every time you email us, you just need to start off with, hello, I've gotten 3 friends who are also going to get 3 friends to listen to the podcast.
And then we're
Just
in a little
start to
multi-level
reinforce-
marketing scheme.
Hell yeah.
Without the money involved.
I'm famously a fan of MLMs. That's
Male-loving male.
A little romance joke. Anyways, my name is Emily, she, her, and you can totally use my name. Longtime listener of the podcast and lover of the parasocial relationship that is formed. We love it
And
too.
she just won our giveaway for filling out our audience
Oh
survey.
my God, Emily, congratulations.
That sounded so fake.
Okay, well, it was genuine. So I don't know what you want me to do.
I think it might have just been your face because it like did not move.
Well, I like pivoted to the camera, but like
congratulations.
Emily's, unless she's a ghost, not in this room right now with us.
Jesus.
If we had Houdini or some silver trumpets, like maybe we could talk to her. Sorry.
Some silver trumpets.
It's a deep cut reference.
If you get it, you get it. It's all from the Houdini episode.
I know I am months behind, but give me grace and I'll tell you why at the end of my story.
Oh.
This story
no
is a little
reward.
long and kind of dark. Also, Emily, I'm seeing how long this email is. It is not a little long. It's actually maybe a little short. You could have added more detail.
I read a novel on this last listener episode, I'm
Yes.
pretty sure.
People send us pages of Microsoft Word docs.
And then tell us to cut whatever we want.
No, my favorite part, whenever we get someone from like pages of like of a Microsoft Word document, is somewhere around page 2, they usually talk about how they're a type A person. And it's like, yeah, babe, no detail has gone unaddressed. We're very much aware you're a type A
The only way you could be
person.
more type A is if this was literally written in a spreadsheet.
And here's the thing. This is not us saying don't do it or stop doing it or
no,
that we don't love it.
continue
We
do it.
loved it. It was just kind of like,
Every time I open a new document,
and the
I'm like,
pot said the kettle's black.
anyway, I'm a little type A.
So, this story is a little long and kind of dark.
Love
So
it.
bear with me. The year, fall of 2017.
Oh?
The place, a private Christian campus in the Midwest.
Oh, no.
The boyfriend, an asshole. When I was a sophomore in college, I met a senior.
Just shut the...
I didn't even say anything.
Literally keep your eyes to yourself. There's video on Spotify now. They all will see it.
You see what you want to see. Who I thought was so interesting and cool. Spoiler alert, he is not in fact interesting or cool.
Oh, no.
End of that parentheses, start of the next
New one.
parentheses.
Yep.
Grant, comma, I wish I had been given the advice of, quote, if your grades don't touch, neither should you. End of quote, end of
All right,
second
Emily, that feels a little
parentheses.
personal because I know that I only brought that up when I told my story.
We started dating in November and hung out almost every day. Now, at a Christian university, there are many rules to abide by. No drinking.
Shocking.
Wear appropriate clothing. Only for the girls, of course.
Yeah.
We had to follow the 4 B's. no belly, butt, boobs, or back. God, what happens if you dropped something?
Straight to jail.
Overcook, undercook.
Overcook, undercook.
No guys in girls' dorms and vice versa. No pornography. Yes, in the handbook, pornography is in fact fully spelled out, etc. You get the picture. So also, I mean, not shocking anyone, but I'm just like, how can a university be a cradle of free thinking and also that, you know?
Ask Trump. He seems to know.
Does he know what room he's in?
No.
It's just like, and I'm not saying like you have to be having intercourse in order to be a free thinker, but you need to have the option to say yes or no to it.
Yeah.
In order to be in a free thinking environment, I think.
You need to learn how many tequila shots you start vomiting. I think that's actually pretty key to brain development.
And it changes with age.
Yeah, sure does, because mine is now 0.
Not mine.
Yeah, we know.
So one night, I'm in my boyfriend's room and we're hanging out. You know, where I'm not supposed to be. He says he needs to go grab things from the store. He leaves me in his room alone and also leaves his phone.
Oh, no.
Now,
Oh, no.
I know you're thinking, hey, babes, maybe don't date someone you don't really trust. Well, I know that now. But back then, I was naive and just happy someone liked me. Okay,
Yep,
that's actually super
same.
relatable,
Yeah,
Emily.
I get it.
We're both like,
We've all been there. Yep.
A few hours before, I had gotten a notification from my Snapchat that my boyfriend had screenshotted a photo of mine. That was the time when Snapchat was the way to communicate. And I'll be honest, I didn't remember what photo I had sent him. So, of course, I opened his phone to see what picture he had saved. Now, dear listener, this man had the new iPhone X, which, if y'all remember, was the first time Apple had a hidden photo album. That was also before the hidden photo album had Face ID. So, period, had access. Period. Do I trust my boyfriend? Did I leave the folder alone? Hell no, I did not.
There it is.
I opened up the phone and found about 15 pictures of nudes.
Okay, I was like, if it's of my nudes.
They were not my nudes.
There it is.
But every single...
I want to be clear. Partners should communicate if they have nudes on your phone regardless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Good. Thank you. Cover those bases as I recollect myself.
Yep. I thought I had a minute.
Sorry. You're going to realize why I'm laughing here in a
Yeah,
second.
I
I'm going to say the
figured.
sentence and then I'm going to explain myself, okay?
Oh, no.
About 15 pictures of nudes. They were not my nudes, but every single girl's tits that he had ever dated. And the email was, yeah, girl, get your tits out.
Emily.
A lover's scorn.
Oh, my God.
Now,
That's the kind of creative juice we need in our titling
100%.
department.
Well, it's also like at the top, it just says, yeah, girl, get your tits. It cuts at tits. And so to read it, I mean, you'll appreciate it. To read it like that, where it's just bumped up next to each other. Now, I'm 100% not here for shaming anyone for taking pictures that they want to take. Seriously, girl, get your tits out.
That's good. That's incredible.
I'm sorry. I am going to again pause the story, and I understand if you're frustrated as a listener. But I said, hell yeah, girl, get your tits out. It's kind of like a butchered saying of something else I was trying to say. But like the sentiment was there, which was like, be free and we support you. And,
oh yeah, girl, get your tits out.
And this is the community that's formed around that mistake to our dear friend Sophie. Not Lee, Sophie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not okay. Sorry, this is now back to Emily's email. Seriously, girl, get your tits out. But I'm not okay with men holding on to nude photos of their past girlfriends, especially
when they're all in a folder together.
Yes.
Yeah, that's weird.
And the girls are unaware their photos are still in this man's possession.
Gotta be communicating that shit, buddy.
Mm-hmm. I spoke with 2 of his past girlfriends after we broke up.
Good for you, Emily.
And they were pissed.
Yeah.
Because they had specifically asked him to delete anything he had of them. This guy was pretty dang awful. That's how you can tell she went to a Christian university in the West.
Yeah.
Also, that whole paragraph was 4 sentences one of which was not in parentheses. The last one is in double parentheses. It's a Russian nesting doll of a sentence. Anywho, I was feeling many feelings and emotions that I don't even know if I could describe now.
Fair.
And soon after, I heard my boyfriend coming back to his dorm. I, of course, knew I needed to sit down with him and be a mature adult and have a rational conversation. So while he was walking through the door, I did what any sane individual would do.
I'm so scared.
I panicked and shoved his phone into my pants so he wouldn't see that I had it.
Girl!
Spoiler alert, I did not handle the situation like a mature adult.
Our storytelling style is rubbing off on
similar. We all found each other.
Yeah.
He came through the door, and I tried my absolute hardest to be as chill as possible.
Yeah.
I don't think my friends or family have ever called me chill. Ever. We talked for a few seconds, and then he says, "Hey, babe, have you seen my phone?" I started to feel nervous because I had, in fact, seen his phone. It was shoved into my waistband at that exact moment.
Oh, my God.
I said, "Nope, don't think I've seen it in a long while." He says, "Oh, that's okay. I'll just use Find My iPhone on my computer."
It's gonna start making a noise from her pants. Oh my God, I'm so nervous.
Well, dang it.
Oh no.
Once he clicks that button, his phone is going to start pinging, and he will know it is, in fact, in my pants.
Oh my God, I'm sweating.
I start to protest a little bit, but he heads over to his computer. Sure enough, the phone starts to ring, and he starts to turn around. In full panic mode, my brain thinks, "Hey, you should just throw the phone." So I rip the phone out of my waistband and just chuck it as far from me as I could.
Girl, what?
And let me tell you, I apparently have a good arm for ultimate frisbee because that thing flew pretty far. He slowly looks over at me and says, "Why did you have my phone?" I stare daggers into his eyes and say, "Oh, I don't know. Why do you have nudes of all your exes in your phone?" Good. Change the subject. And that is the subject, but that's also not an answer to his question.
You just say, "Oh, I didn't realize that I had this. I must have accidentally picked it up because I don't know where my phone is now."
I thought this was my phone in my pocket. That's so crazy.
I don't know. I've definitely picked up somebody else's phone before.
This erupted into a 2-hour conversation filled with stupid explanations on his part and lots of crying on my part. That's kind of the end of my story. I dated him a total of 5 months, and it was probably the worst 5 months of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
No one's interesting until they're 23, which for most of us does not include college.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Total worst 5 months of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But now the year... Okay, so she does say the word now twice. I was like, wait, I misread that. But now the year is now 2025. I have an awesome job providing outdoor education to metropolitan areas. We take kids out of the city and go hiking, backpacking, climbing, etc. She doesn't say what organization it is, but I wonder if it's Outward Bound, which is such a cool, like, life-changing... I'll talk about it in a second. I'm almost done with this email. I've been married to my wonderful husband for almost 2.5 years, and I'm so behind in listening to the podcast because we now have a beautiful baby boy who was born in December. Congratulations.
Congrats.
You didn't have to name him Grant. That's crazy. I'm kidding. I'm so kidding.
I'm disappointed in you.
It's still kind of funny, though.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for listening to my tale and for being a safe space for me to learn, love, and laugh. Know you're loved and wishing you guys all the best.
Shut up.
Blessings, Emily.
Love you so much.
I hope all the mean things I said about religious universities didn't stop you from listening to the rest of your own story.
She was joking when I told her that she won she won the audience survey giveaway. She was like, "This is the first time I've ever won anything because I wasn't really allowed to gamble." # like religious trauma or something. I think she's there with us.
Okay.
Okay, next story. I'm increasingly upset with you all.
No.
Y'all, notice how I said y'all? Take note and maybe practice writing it. Hi, Grant and Maya.
What's so funny too is before when we take one of our little breaks during the listener episodes, we just divvy up amongst ourselves who's getting what stories, and it's oftentimes based off of the email subject line.
Yeah.
She picked both these emails.
This is so fucked up of you guys. I took a chance on you. I trusted you when no one else would because it's just me and Grant in there, and you treat me like this. God, the things I do for you. Hi, Grant and Maya.
Hi.
Parentheses. Picking a side, even though I love you both. Yeah, shows. My pronouns are she, her, and I'll go by the name of Jane. I also shared my story about my dream telling me an ex of mine was bad news. If people I know listen to this, they can connect the dots themselves, and that's fine.
Good.
I'm glad you came to that realization instead of me having to come to it and panic 6 months from now. Oh boy, do I have a story for you about my time in theater. To give you some context for what's about to come, I grew up in an extremely conservative Christian household where names of body parts and the word gay were bad words.
Okay, I am sorry. We'll miss it if we move on.
Yeah.
You have in both of your stories picked an email that starts off with my name.
Yep.
And then details the trauma they experienced in the theater. Continue.
Yeah. Because I had been soliciting like emails for Triple Threat and we hadn't been getting that many. And so I decided to like kind of reframe it of like, do you have any like theater school or like theater class stories? And then we get these. Yeah. Okay. 1 year in high school, the director chose to do the musical, the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Great musical, by the way. If anyone doesn't know about this musical, there are a few swear words, a gay couple who have a daughter in the spelling bee, and there's a song about a tween boy having an erection due to his going through puberty. For that part, the tween gay is distracted at the spelling bee due to his erection and is disqualified, which leads him to sing about how it wasn't his fault. Pretty mild and funny. The director decided to change the word erection in this song to distraction, but it was still obvious from the words what it was referencing. I knew this information going into the musical and didn't feel like it was a big deal. Anyway, near the end of rehearsals, when we were maybe a week away from opening night, my friend's mom watched our run through of the play and somehow miscommunicated to my mom about the offensive content. My mom flipped. She was enraged that I would know about those parts and still be in the play. She was ready to not let me even perform at all. I was luckily able to stand my ground that I would be in it due to the fact that I was in a very small school with no understudies, and I had a solo song that no one else had learned. Good for you. Good for you standing your ground. That's not easy. It didn't end there. Unbeknownst to me, my mom had written a letter to the editor of our local paper calling the play filth, along with other things, parentheses. Also, I want to add not having actually ever seen the play.
Can I also add too, and this is one of the things I kind of love about America, whenever someone writes into like a newspaper, blog post, TikTok, whatever, right? Makes it public an opinion that it's like, don't go see this piece of art or media. It's absolute filth. Americans are like, it's filth. Well, I better get down there. I had never once gone to a high school play before, but I'm clearing Friday night for this one. Thank you for your generous support of the arts, ma'am. Continue.
No publicity is bad publicity.
It's been made possible by angry viewers like you.
Like that bar that's just down the street, they have all of their negative reviews literally written on the side, and it's like, this satanic place is lowering the property value. And it's like, yeah, now I want to go there.
You're like, your property values are so high because this place has attracted the exact kind of late 20s to mid 30-year-olds
that go to that bar.
Right, who just want to spend money on food and alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. So unbeknownst to me, my mom had written a letter to the editor of our local paper calling the play filth, along with other things. Also, I want to add, she hadn't actually seen the play. Because I lived in a small rural community, the local paper was well read. A day or two later, a man was outside the high school with a, quote, drama teacher fired sign, all in caps. It was a mess.
For the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
The drama teacher was already known outside of the school for being petty and at times verbally abusive. What? And now she was getting extra community hatred because of my mom. And so I was the obvious choice to blame. The weeks of performances were absolute hell for me. The drama teacher hated me and wouldn't even allow me to help sell tickets or anything because it was my fault, and possibly didn't want my face associated with the play. Looking back, I empathize and am more forgiving of how she treated me, but at the time I felt it was also unfair. No, you were a child. She was an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you can empathize. That's probably an emotionally mature thing to do. But
Right.
I think it's totally fair also to not.
And also to speak a little like more to this whole power dynamic, your teacher should not have made you feel that way, but also your teacher was really pissed at your mom who was doing bad things.
Yeah.
And so like channeling the right emotion towards the wrong person.
Yeah, exactly. The drama department hated me and wouldn't talk to me because of my mom. And then when I got home, I had to face my angry mother. That's a horrible situation. Been there? I haven't exactly been there, but I know we're going to stop
You've been
talking.
close enough, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Things died down after the play was over, but it killed my little teacher pet's heart to have the director hate me with such passion. I'd been working the last few years to get her to like me, and it was gone in a flash. To flourish this, I'll add a side note that all seniors in theater are given a small scholarship from the drama department at scholarship night at the end of the year, and this play was during my senior year. Guess which senior didn't get awarded a scholarship that year? And then a little like hand raise emoji, LOL. And it was all over an extremely mild representation of a mildly crude musical.
I want to point out, I would not call it a mildly crude musical. It is like the
It's like
safest.
a children's musical. Yeah.
It's the safest piece of literature we run in my speech and debate program.
Yeah.
We have kids who've like cut it down.
Yeah.
We had a student do really well with that script in recent history.
Writing it all out, it sounds so cringy, but my drama friends and I still joke about it to this day. I'll attach the letter to the editor that my mom wrote and a picture of the man protesting in front of the school. Not sure if this is the kind of story that will fit your theme. Yes, it will. But it was the most dramatic few weeks of my life that is joked about by many. Hope you enjoyed. This is the picture of the person protesting.
It's literally, oh my God. It's,
like he could go turn around and be on Duck Dynasty.
It's even better.
Know?
First, the like camera shot like some of the early seasons of Modern Family.
Yeah.
Second, drama teacher fired is in all caps, no punctuation.
No.
And then written by like a second person, like kind of in bold, filth. And the person just, I mean, can't say I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I need you to read the letter to the editor.
The big title is Appalled by Play. To the editor. This letter was originally sent in an email to the principal of whatever school this is regarding the spring musical. Hi, Mr. Nelson. I don't know if you have seen the musical this year or read the script, but I went to opening night tonight and was appalled by the adult content that was allowed and approved by the school. It was a very poor choice to represent our school and community. I was actually taken back a bit when, just before the play started, another parent warned me that she had seen the dress rehearsal yesterday and was quite disgusted herself. The sexual material that was made lightly and was supposed to be a funny part of the play should not have been something these kids, parentheses, and when I say kids, I mean the 14-year-olds that attend your school who are still kids, close parentheses, are a part of. Not to mention the many young children who come to see the play. I sincerely hope in the future you take an active role in protecting our children from this kind of filth and do a better job of screening what is allowed to represent our school. I am glad to help support the funding of the school activities by the family pass that I purchased tonight, but will definitely not be taking my family to see the musical this year. This is the kind of low-class act that many people have come to expect from our town. As a youth leader in this community, I know how impressionable our teenagers are. They need positive influences and role models around them. Can't we do better than this for our kids' sake? If you would like to discuss this with me further, I would be glad to talk about it more. Thank you.
I'm really curious as to what world this parent thinks they're protecting 14-year-olds from. Like, does she think this play is going to introduce erections to 14-year-old boys?
Well, yeah, Grant. It's one of those things that you can't do it until you see it.
And like also not to like justify that behavior by any means, but if anyone's been in American high school, like you understand it when young men specifically go through puberty, kind of everyone has to kind of suddenly be aware of the fact that they're going through puberty, especially the other children also going through puberty.
There's a reason middle school's as horrible as it
Yes,
is.
there really is. It's like it's not something in the water, it's something in you. Like the calls coming from inside the house. And it's like
Truly.
evolutionary and biological, and there are like appropriate and inappropriate ways to like handle this like sudden great change that you're going through. But like realistically, there's not any stopping it. And like I also don't think it's healthy at all to like try to get them to
stop.
Right. Or like I'm again, like guidelines and stuff. I'm trying to be very delicate here, but I think you guys know what I'm trying to say, you know? It's just like trust me, that's a topic that's been raised already. They're not learning about it from a musical.
Even if you don't have sex ed, there is going to be one student in the grade that knows something and will tell everyone else. Like they're going to learn it one way or another.
And I don't mean to like come across as like a, board member for like the committee of concerned parents or whatever.
It's like you are the board member for a lot of things, actually.
Yeah, I am. At this part of my life, I don't talk about a lot. Sorry, anyway. But I do think...
That was the worst thing you could have said.
I know, I'm sorry. I just honestly wasn't expecting you to say it. Like... I do have concerns about what some of our children are watching and the ages that they're watching them on. Like, I don't think, and this might be controversial, I don't think 5th grade is an appropriate time to watch Euphoria, right? I remember...
Shocking.
Yeah, I remember early on in my teaching career when I would like walk past a kid's computer in class and catch them on like Netflix or some streaming service or they're pirating it, which like shout out to the olden days. And they were watching Shameless. And one, it was like, this is a wild thing to watch at 9 a.m. on a Wednesday morning.
That really is.
And B, you're 14, maybe 15. And like, while this isn't necessarily like going to change the total course of your life, like, I don't think it's something that you need to be watching regularly, especially at 9 a.m., right? Like, it's almost like when you watched, and now I'm going to sound so old, and I know it, and I'm just going to say it anyways. Yeah.
Just now?
Just now. But, like, there was something about watching stuff like that Friday night in a friend's basement with like 18 other kids that like so much social learning was happening while you watch this like edgy, slightly inappropriate film. I know I've said in the past that like Pineapple Express was that for like my very specific age cohort. But there's like so many different ingredients go into that pot that like it almost like made it better, right? To just be watching this on your own instead of learning how to read at like 9 a.m. in the morning, babes, we're missing something here, you know?
It's like watching Naked Attraction alone.
Yes. Perfect analogy. Absolute. I just spent 8 minutes on what you said in 8 words. 6, damn. Anything else to add as I pull up yours?
No, I don't think so. Oh, no.
No, it's just funny because like the theme does continue. Okay, so
oh Jesus, y'all!
No. You're missing it just a smidge. It's a parallel, not a rule of 3. So the title is Listener Story for Triple Threat. Hi, Morant. Or Gaia, take your pick. Neither.
We don't like either of them.
Long-ish time listener, first time writer here. Just wanted to throw my quick story in here about the last time I was on stage in theater. I have a degree in music education.
Oh, yeah.
I don't use it anymore, LOL.
Fair.
But obviously did participate in things related to theater to obtain my degree. Quick pause to let you know my name is Alex, she, her pronouns, and yes, you can use my actual name.
Hell yeah.
So, as a middle child,
Immediately.
pause to give them some space and some recognition.
No.
Only
The middle
child
children
house
that I know don't actually need that anymore as adults.
Yes, we do. So as a middle child, I definitely wanted to be outgoing and participate in the spotlight growing up. As you should, babes, as is your right. Not only because you deserve equal time like everyone else, but you're actually funnier, more interesting, a better entertainer. You deserve more stage time than other people. It's your spotlight. They're borrowing it.
Why do you feel that way, Grant?
That's a Patreon conversation. I did the typical Christmas church play
Yeah.
and not much else until sophomore year, fall of 2013 of high school. So she is younger than me, and that's fine.
Wait, sorry, say the time frame again.
She's a sophomore in the fall of 2013.
She's a sophomore in the fall of 2013. Hey, we're the same age.
What year did you graduate high school from?
2016.
Damn. Okay, yeah. Damn. What? Sorry. I know you've told me this before. I have a full...
It's crazy to think that we wouldn't have been ever at the same school.
No. I actually do think it's really funny. Like, of all the circles we run in, we share only one, and his name is Tyler.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Now we operate a small business together. Gotta thank that guy sometime.
I know we really do. We really do. My high school did an alternating schedule of 1 year was a play in the fall, and the next was a musical in the spring. Little baby fresh, so like same. Yeah. Okay, little baby freshman Alex was not about to sing in a musical, but thought that I could act in the play that year.
Fair
The
enough.
play was 12 Angry Jurors. I don't remember much about preparing for the audition. Doubtful I bothered to prepare.
Oh my God.
Or the audition process. I remember wondering/worrying if I was going to be able to get a part. I shouldn't have been. I'm from Indiana, and my school had about 1,200 students in it. Okay, some people think that's big. Some people think that's really small.
12, like total?
1,200.
1,200.
1,200.
Yeah.
I really only remember being asked if I could do a German accent part of the way through. I remember thinking, that's odd, but okay. I went to the section they asked for and attempted my best German accent. It was terrible. Like, italicized, bold, underlined.
I don't know if I could do a German accent on the spot like that or at all.
No, I couldn't either. You just end up yelling. But like nothing
and
else.
then just making W's, V's,
Yeah.
but there's a shocking lack of W's in everyday conversation.
Especially in English.
Yeah.
But the teachers doing the audition were, one, grateful that I even attempted, and two, kind of impressed by what I did.
Oh.
Looking back at it now that I've had some teaching experience, I know they were mostly thankful that they got one kid to try.
Oh.
That's so real. I'm pretty sure this is the only reason I got the part. The next couple weeks of rehearsals were not only trying to memorize lines, but practice my German accent. Also, because this was a play that didn't require costumes and just nice clothes, we had to provide the clothes ourselves.
Yeah, we've all been there.
These teachers chose 12 Angry Jurors for two reasons. They didn't have it in them. They were like, we're going to take an easy pass. Or two, that spring musical was about to be so giant. They're like, we have to do something easy. Yeah. I'm shocked I actually made it to the actual showings and did that in front of who knows how many people. Every year that it pops up on my Facebook memories.
Oh, God.
How are you on Facebook memories and younger than me? Like, I love you, but how?
I am.
So
we have a
what now?
Facebook that you are technically supposed to be managing.
You have a Facebook?
Yeah. I'm not on it.
Okay.
That's the only way I get the modeling jobs.
Okay.
Duh. I'm not that pretty on Instagram. I am really good looking on Facebook. I'm kidding. I'm absolutely kidding.
She looks good on both.
I'm perfect everywhere.
Each year that it pops up on my Facebook memories, I sigh and shake my head at one of the many things I did in high school. Attached below is a picture of the cast. I have circled myself in red and am in the back. Thanks so much for the amazing podcast. You guys make me feel like I'm with good friends every time I listen, whether it's in the office, grocery store, or on my regular drive home. Love hearing y'all yap and love a long episode. Two of my best friends from college, shout out Ashley and Emily.
Aw.
Ashley is my friend who had the listener story about the moose people. And I listen, and y'all bring us together. Our group is called, oh, I love this.
Oh, no.
Our group is called Hot Again.
Yes!
And the pic is of the podcast logo.
Yes!
We're starting to plan a girls' trip to Denver and would love your recommendations. Definitely going to try to go to Casa Bonita.
Yeah.
Much love. Bye.
Bye!
Alex, this is me saying this out loud on the podcast in case I forget. You can then circle back with me. I'm going to send you my list of Denver recommendations. I think you have one too. Yeah, we can send it to you. And then I'm going to pull up the picture. And what's extra funny is that I have to pull up the picture because she forgot to attach it.
Oh, yes.
And so it goes, LOL, sorry guys, forgot to attach the picture. Okay,
Incredible.
honestly, why does she kind of look like a mid 2000s Disney Channel TV star?
It's looking
you know?
like Ariana Grande was in her victorious era.
Yes.
I'm obsessed, honestly. That
Honestly,
is peak 2013 fashion.
this entire cast photo, by the way, just looks like exactly what every speech and debate team in 2013 looked like. I
can
it's
see it.
Perfect.
Yeah. The like ill-fitting button-down
Yes.
shirts. Yeah.
Do you want to do one more?
This is in preparation for your next story, Movie Magic.
Yes.
This is for Movie Magic. The title is, I'm not actually going to say that.
I'm so glad that this is the one that we're ending the listener episode on. That's great.
We did good.
By accident, but that's fine.
Yeah, you know what's not a fucking accident? Her intro. Hey, Grant and Maya.
Shut up a third time.
What have I done to you? What have I done? I produced this whole goddamn thing.
No, you really do so much more work than I do.
I'm reading a book about podcast marketing right now, and y'all give me this, hey, Grant and Maya, what the fuck?
It's alphabetical?
No, shut up.
Age before beauty? Be mad about that one. Yeah, exactly.
Grow up, bro.
Okay, Morant.
Anyway.
I'm sad.
Hey, Grant and Maya, buckle up. This is a bit longer than I intended it to be, but I promise every detail is worth it. That's the confidence we need.
chills up my spine. I'm so obsessed with this.
Yes. A listener from the beginning, first time story submitter. I was the listener who messaged the Instagram. I remember this. Shocked that both Monet and Bowser are both dogs. Parentheses, my husband and I went back and forth thinking one was a cat. And we didn't think to just look on the YouTube since we both listen.
And in many ways, Bowser is a cat.
Monet is more the cat.
No. Size-wise, sure. But temperament? Bowser's a cat.
Depends on what kind of cat you have, I guess. If you have a cat that's like antisocial, Bowser. If you have a cat that's more of a cuddler, that's Monet. Anyway, they're both dogs. You have permission to use my name, Kylie, and she, her pronouns. Everyone in this story has had their name changed, as I am not going to reach out to get their permission.
Us.
Yeah.
So us. If you don't put that little note in there, we just legitimately kind of end up skipping the email.
We start coming up with names pretty fast. Okay, I heard the theme of movie magic, and it reminded me of my first date ever at the movies, and what a train wreck it was.
Okay, first off, top of the hour.
Yeah.
Terrible idea for a first date.
I don't know why that came to be a trope for first date, dinner and a movie. Dinner, kill me. I'm not eating spaghetti like I want to in front of you.
Right.
And also that's so much forced interaction sitting across from each other, staring at each other, expected to talk the entire time.
So I have a theory, and it's because if you do dinner and then a movie, you have an excuse to go home late.
Okay.
And also, if
when you're,
dinner goes well,
too.
then you can hold hands. However, if dinner was just neutral, now you're deciding if you like this person based off of how loud they vacuum up popcorn. And for me,
how hard
it's
they
loud.
punch you in the body at funny things. It's Grant. It's all Grant.
I'm a good time.
Yeah. The other day, he literally almost pushed me out of a booth.
What I said was a callback to a private conversation that also killed in a large group setting. I had no choice.
Yeah, to just push me out of the booth because you were laughing
She
so
was
hard.
laughing up until she almost fell.
Yeah. True. Okay. To set the scene, I'm 16 with my driver's license and feel on top of the world with this new freedom. Don't we all, Kylie? Don't we all? I come from a solid home, excel in school, am a leader on the dance team, and have a solid job working at the mall mini golf flow in the mini golf glow-in-the-dark store. I have everything going for me in terms of support and truly grew up blessed. The only thing missing, all in quotes, parentheses, I use air quotes heavily here, was love. Ugh, barf, looking back now.
Kylie, I'm obsessed with you. Start to finish, everything in the middle, it's all good.
Especially the thing at the beginning.
Like a double stuffed Oreo. It's all good.
Okay.
I'm not going to even touch on your trauma because I know I'm going to hear about it after the show.
Truly don't care. It's just really funny to riff on. I had never gone on a date, not for lack of interest from the guys. All right.
Hot again,
I
guess.
Truly. I wasn't feeling it, parentheses, and they were awkward as heck. I took my time seriously and didn't want to invest it into someone else earlier than necessary. I wanted to get married and eventually did, but knew at 16 that it was a long ways in the distance. The switch came when Trevor entered the picture.
Oh, Trevor.
Trevor. Okay. Enter Trevor, 15 male, to the scene, and she's 16. He was new to the area and to my school of 2,500 kids, and that can be really intimidating. I was on the leadership council and had many classes with Trevor, so I wanted to make sure he got connected, felt supported, and had as smooth of a transition as he could moving far away from home. He was charming and nervous, and my instinct to protect and make him feel included immediately kicked in. After months of being friends, he asked me out on a date boldly, and I decided, why not? We were planning to go to the movies, and I was scheduled to pick him up because I could legally drive, and he didn't have his permit yet. Awkward moment number 1. No fault of his own, and I don't mind being a woman in charge, but it was clear he felt awkward about it. Moving on.
It was just giving Rose from Titanic, and I don't know why. The like little shoulder you did. I'm
woman in
obsessed.
charge. I went to pick him up, and Trevor came out with his younger brother, Kevin. Kevin is about 2 grades below us, so similar age, but still a bit younger. Also, this is a date, so I'm confused.
Has it been clearly communicated as a date?
Yes, it has.
Okay.
Why they both come over to my car. Trevor says, go back inside, Kevin. And Kevin replies, Mom said I'm coming along with you guys. Silence. Awkward moment number 2. Trevor looks annoyed and argues with his brother for a few moments about him not coming and then goes back inside to talk to his mom, leaving Kevin and I standing outside. Awkward moment number 3.
We don't have an age for Kevin yet, right?
2 years younger.
Okay, so like 12, 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's so funny too is like that is in age so close, but not at that age.
No, oh my God, at that
Not
age,
at that
that
age.
is a big
That's a chasm.
difference. Yeah. Like one of those you would pay to watch the other
Yes,
one. Like
you
that's
really
how
would.
different that is. Trevor looks annoyed and argues with blah, blah, blah. Trevor comes back out clearly frustrated and explains that he had gotten permission from his dad to take me on the date alone. But his dad didn't relay that information to Mom, and Mom couldn't confirm with Dad to let Trevor go on the date alone, so Kevin was coming with us.
Wait.
None of this makes sense to
Mom
me.
can't just, I don't know, make like an executive decision that the son doesn't need. Also, it's more children leaving the house.
It's
What are
actually
you
you're
talking
now
about?
giving your younger child to your older child.
Oh no, hold on. I'm gonna just crack this case wide
Oh,
open.
no.
Do you know what it's giving? It's giving husband is the head of the household, and this is a big decision that only head of household should make.
Ugh.
Which exactly.
Gross.
Exactly.
Anyway, so Kevin was coming with us. I asked if he would prefer to reschedule or to do something different that Mom would feel more comfortable letting us be alone together, parentheses like a walk through our neighborhood. Yes, we lived in different sections, but of the same neighborhood. He said, no, let's go to the movies, and his brother Kevin hops in the back. Awkward moment number 4. Driving to the movies, Kevin talks the whole ride there to me, and Trevor barely gets a word in. It's clear he's frustrated about the situation, but also we can't change it, so might as well make the most of the situation, right? Wrong. We get to the theater, and there's a line to buy tickets outside, but it's pretty cold. My date, Trevor, parentheses, although at this point feels more like Kevin, LOL, tells me to go inside and he'll buy our tickets. He then stares at his little brother and says, I'm not buying your ticket.
Hell yeah.
To which Kevin replies, oh, I almost forgot. Mom gave me cash to pay for all of our tickets. And hands Trevor the money. Awkward moment number 5. I'm starting to lose count. Trevor clearly have been having broken expectations of how this date was going to go, quickly grabs the cash and goes to pay for our tickets. I step inside to stay warm and am trying to let my date be a gentleman that he so clearly is trying to be. And guess who follows me inside to stay warm? You guessed it, Kevin. At this point, it's still a little awkward, but even I can acknowledge this is a comedy. I'm not saying much because, one, I'm not sure what I could say to remedy the situation, and I would hate to be rude to Kevin. And two, this is super funny how everything is playing out, and I'm here for the drama. I'm going to have one heck of a first date story to tell. And that's how Grant and I go through every negative situation we ever experience.
I was like, oh my God, the way I'm going to exaggerate just a little bit, this is going to be such a perfect podcast
it's gonna
story.
Be incredible. Yeah. We got the tickets and get inside, and Trevor asks if I would like anything from concessions. Kevin immediately starts spilling his order, and Trevor cuts him off and looks back to me. And I say, popcorn, of course. Parentheses, I grew up understanding the concept that you don't have to see a movie to get the popcorn. I often in my life and to this day walk in, buy popcorn, and walk out. To some, that's groundbreaking knowledge. To me, that's my Tuesday snack. It's still groundbreaking to me.
So funny.
I need to do it at some point to like break that little barrier.
My mom has gone to $5 movie Tuesdays to get some popcorn in and then get a nice nap in a dark room next to my dad.
Love that
like,
so much.
They love the movies, but also like it doesn't need to be a high bar. Yeah, exactly. They're gonna watch TV at home. Might as well watch TV here.
We finally go in to see the movie. Parentheses, we saw Ocean 8. I wasn't very interested in the movie, and I honestly couldn't remember the plot because of what happens next. We go to take our seats. Trevor takes charge and leads us to our seats, not realizing his brother was directly behind him, and then me. So yes, Kevin sat right between us the whole movie.
No.
Awkward and hilarious moment number 6. At this point, I'm dying of laughter inside at this point. We watch the movie as I process the whole string of events this date has held.
Because now she's like just watching Ocean's 8.
Yeah.
Like now she's basically there alone.
Literally. Yeah. When the movie ends, we drive home and Kevin talks about the whole movie and I can't even comment back because I wasn't paying much attention to the whole plot. And Trevor is...
It's pretty good. Ocean's 8. It's a pretty solid movie.
Sure. And Trevor is very, quiet. Awkward moment number 7. When I finally drop them both off at home and say goodnight, parentheses, awkward moment number 8 due to how brief and quick it was, I then drive back to my house and take a breath to process the whole evening. I know my parents are waiting behind the door, curious as to how my date went, my first date went. So I take a moment to put words to what I just experienced. As soon as I step through the door and close it behind me, my parents are quick to ask, well, how was it? And as I opened my mouth to say what I practiced, I fell against the door laughing uncontrollably instead. And that's the end, but there's bonus content.
Okay.
We had a funny time as a family reliving that date, and my parents laughed with me about it. We did keep hanging out after that and ended up dating for a little bit, but of course we had many more awkward encounters. Here's a shorter one for you. We were driving back from somewhere, I can't remember, and had a 10 to 15-ish minute commute. In the first 3 minutes of me driving, he says boldly, I love you.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
And that's Grant's trauma speaking. I just want everyone else to know.
They're in high school. They don't even know what it means.
Out of nowhere. And I'm stunned. I know I didn't feel the same way, but I was still interested in seeing him. So I panic and I reply, thanks.
Oh, no.
And we remained silent for the rest of the ride. When I say that it was the longest car ride of my life, I mean it.
Oh my God, sorry. I'm having like a gut reaction to this story.
Oof, it's so cringe to think back on that car ride, but now I can laugh. It's funny now. I hope you enjoyed reading my story as much as I enjoyed writing and reliving it. You're welcome to share this on the pod if you would like and if it fits. Love you both in the podcast. I was so excited to have this podcast show up on my Spotify Wrapped last year, but I only listen to this podcast, so I don't have enough data for them to display while I laughed. I hope you're encouraged by the amount of strangers that support your work. Much love and many blessings. Thank you.
That's kind.
That's so funny.
And it leads me to want to ask you.
Oh, Jesus.
To wrap up this wonderful listener episode. What is the funniest date you have ever been on?
It's the funniest date. I feel like I've told it. Haven't I?
Well, it depends. What's the headline?
He forgets something at my house.
Oh, yes. Maybe on Patreon, but yes.
Okay, we can say it again. It's funny. We don't need to live like everyone needs to listen to every single episode before getting
Especially
in.
considering how much content we put out.
True. All right. I went on a date with this guy. I think I'd matched with him on Hinge, but I knew him like in real life too. And he worked kind of in the office that I worked in for my on-campus job. And so we go on this date. We go to a coffee shop near Mines. We go to Bean Foster's. And it's a great time. Like, it's a solid date. He's funny. He's charming. He can hold a conversation. He asks questions. He's in ROTC, which is like usually not my like thing, but
he's ripped.
He seems fine,
He's ripped.
He is an econ major, which means that I'll be the breadwinner.
Two big red flags on the first date.
But I mean, everything else was a green flag. He was kind and like funny and checked all of those boxes, right? And so I'm feeling pretty good about it. And then he has to go on like an ROTC trip like right after finals. And so there's like, we have our first date like right before finals are about to start. So it's like gonna be, we see each other and then it'll be like a month or so of not being able to see each other. So he wants to spend some more time. I'm like, that would be great. I have finals to study for because I'm in a real major at Mines as not econ. Sorry. Just kidding. Anyone who's not an engineering major, I want to be super clear. I'm jealous. I love and appreciate all of you. I'm not trying to be elitist.
I want to be super clear. I take back nothing I said, but you're valued.
I only hate econ majors at Mines. Just kidding. But so he's like, oh, no, that's fine. Like, I can like study for things. Like, maybe we can just have like a study date. And I was like, that's fine. Like, around this time when we're this close to finals or like actively in finals, like our dining room in our like college house was just constantly set up for anyone. Like, each of us kind of had our own spot where we like kept all of our books out, you know, so everyone's kind of always out studying in the dining room. And so he comes over, and at this point I had talked to a few friends about this guy, and I'm like, hey, like, I went on a date with him. I didn't know that he was like, he's so cool, you know? And then I start getting some red flags from my friends who are like, oh, he's weird. And I was like, I didn't pick up on that at all.
Mm-hmm.
And like, because Mine's kids can be really weird.
Sure.
So when one's like not really that weird, you're like, you're normal.
Right.
Totally.
You fit within the bell curve.
Yeah. Like, I would get a drink with you. And I was like, oh, like, I didn't pick up on that, but you know, like, maybe we're not the same type of people. Maybe he's not for everyone, and he's for me and not for you.
Right. But Daddy, I love him.
But Daddy, I love him. And so he comes over, and I'm studying, and he's like interacting with my roommates and stuff. And he's like, he met Mo, and it was all fine. And then he didn't leave. He just was still there constantly after I kept talking about how I wanted to like go to bed and like, oh my God, I have an early class tomorrow. Or like, I told my friend,
you guys aren't boyfriend, girlfriend. You're literally just
this is literally
going on
would have
dates.
been our second date.
Yeah,
Ever in the span of like a week, you know? And he's like not picking up on any of the hints that me or my roommates at this point, because everyone now has picked up on it. We are actually talking in the roommate group chat about how do we get this guy to leave without blatantly saying, get the fuck out of my house. And so we're all trying to like give us subtle hints, and it's like kind of becoming a game a little bit. Eventually he picks up on it, and I walk him to the door, and I like give him a hug goodbye, because at this point I know like this isn't for me, but like, you're fine. Like, I don't want to.
He is a little weird, but I don't want to never see you again.
I don't want to like be a bitch about it, but like, please get out of my house. There will not be another date. So he hugs me, and then he's like, "Can I get like a hug?" And so I give him a hug, and then he's like, "And a kiss?" Just kidding. Well. And I was like, no.
Well, I mean, you said it out loud.
Oh my God, did I say that? That's
who said it? Well, anyways,
well, now that it's been
here
said,
comes the plane.
Yeah. And the plane is my tongue. And I was like, haha, no, bye. And I like closed him out. I did not handle the last couple of minutes well, because I could tell by the way my roommates were cackling by the time the door closed. And so he leaves, everything's fine. And I'm like, that was the most insane last 20 minutes of trying to get this guy to leave. And he just would not leave. And so I call up my friend and like talk to them. This is the time that I was like, oh my God, I had this crush on this guy and I didn't even realize it. But I was like, I went and hung out with him after I went on a drive with him. And as I'm on the drive with him, like talking about this, I get a text from him from the date.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh shoot, I think I left something at your house. And I'm like, I literally never want to see you again unless we're like in a public setting. And I was like, haha, oh no, what is it? And he was like, my heart.
Oh no. It's so predictable based off both of the red flags at the first date, but still.
I was like, dude, you started out so strong and then you really dive bomb that.
It's not even the ick. It's just like ick.
Yeah. I had another time that I went through a little hoe phase. This one's shorter. I went through a little bit of a hoe phase after my first like long-term relationship in college. And one of the guys I was sleeping with was on the baseball team. And it was great. It was literally a like you up kind of like I matched with him on Hinge, and then from there, like we never really went on a date.
Right.
We knew what was going on.
Right. This is a business transaction.
Yeah.
We're
like,
business
you're
people.
never sleeping over, right?
I do F45, you do baseball, but you're an economics major, so this will never work out.
He was an econ and he had a nice butt.
Right.
I have a type. But
I know not to say anything.
Yeah, you learn the hard way. And then at some point, I get a text from him. I am so uninvested in this man, but I get a text from him and he's like, hey, can we talk? And I'm like, are you going to break up with me when we're like...
Not even
yeah,
together?
And I also like don't care
Right.
like at all, but like go off, queen. And so I'm like, yeah, sure. And he's like, yeah, I'll swing by after practice. And he doesn't even
again.
You know it's bad when he doesn't even come into the house. He's like, will you like come out with me? And I was like, we don't have a front patio. Like we literally just sit on the one concrete step outside of the door. I'm like, I hope none of my roommates have to leave.
Wait, hold on. Because I remember the start of the story, but then I remember the end of the story. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
He's like, so I think we should like stop seeing each other. And I'm like, sure. Like, I guess I'll start swiping and find someone else.
Right.
But I'm like so emotionally uninvested. And he's like going on and he's like trying to like lay me down gently. And I'm like, you literally could have done this over
You're
text.
delaying me from studying.
Yeah,
I need to get back
I
to
literally don't care. And he just goes, so I've just recently reconnected with God and am gonna go and become a born again virgin. And like like I don't think we should like people should be having premarital sex. And I'm like, motherfucker, you invited yourself over that first night. We wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't have gotten the courage to continue doing this after you if you hadn't just been like, be there in 15, let's watch The Office together, right? Like,
Oh my God.
I don't need to watch The Office. We all know that.
I have famously said I stayed in one relationship longer than I should have because we just kept watching the dinner party scene from the episode together.
Yes. I was like, you invited yourself over the first time. The real kicker of this story. So anyway, he became a born again virgin, and no hate if you're like going down that track. It was just funny because he initiated almost every interaction.
And also funny because you're actually not involved in the process of him accomplishing what he wants. There's nothing you have to sign or anything.
I don't know where I gave him the audacity that I cared. Like, whatever. He was nice enough. He was definitely like really fratty. But and then like 4 months later or so, I now have a different guy that I'm sleeping with. He plays rugby. I have a type, I guess.
I mean, hot again.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, so I sleep with him one day, and then that night I am like hanging out with my roommates, and then this friend that I've had since high school, who I always thought was cute, and then he ends up spending the night, and wait, no, I think he might have been first, and then the rugby guy the next day. Either way, and then that evening, so. Keeping up, I've slept with 2 people in the course of...
You want this on main episode?
We're at the end. It's fine.
I'm like, I'm fine. I just want you to
if
know where we're
they're still
at.
here, they're still here.
Okay.
And then in that evening afternoon, I have now slept with like probably the most people I've ever slept with in that amount of time. And I'm like, this is crazy. Anyway, I get a text from the baseball kid that's like, you up?
Nice.
And I was like, at this point, I'm doing it
more than you bargained for now.
I'm doing it for the bit.
Yeah,
like,
of course you are. Well,
I have an opportunity.
And a type.
Yeah, I have an opportunity here to have the best 2 truths and a lie moment. And then that summer, right? So I did that, slept with 3 guys in 24 hours. That's the only time I'm ever going to say that on this podcast publicly. Me and that friend from that last date that I like went and did the drive with afterwards. And I was like, I don't have a crush on him. Did have a crush on him. Anyway, that night later that summer we were texting and I told him about it. And he was like, you literally did the Triple Crown. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. And he starts referring to the different men as the different races in the Triple Crown.
That's so butch. I think the Kentucky Derby is one of them.
The Derby, the Preakness.
The Preakness?
Yeah. And then
that's
there's
a
one
word?
over. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, at some point, and then later that summer, I'm hanging out with the rugby guy who was number 2, which I believe makes him the Preakness. I'm probably wrong. But I'm on speakerphone with that friend who had coined that term.
Right.
And I had been texting him earlier that I was with that guy. And then he starts making references on the phone about me hanging out with the Preakness, which is obviously a really unique word.
Yes.
It takes this fucking minds engineer like 60 seconds to put 2 and 2 together. And he's like, what the hell do you mean? And I was like, don't look at me like that.
Good.
That was a long tangent, but here we are.
If only Preakness's brother had been there to stop all of this nanny from happening.
I want to make sure Triple Crown races.
As she Googles that, I'm going to do our little speech here at the end. Thank you so much for joining us for another listener episode. Next
I was right.
theme.
It's the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont Stakes.
Oh, I've heard Belmont Stakes.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this, you can find more content on social media where we are Well I Laughed across basically all platforms. If you enjoyed this, you can also like, subscribe, leave a review. That's always really helpful.
Tell your friends.
Yeah. If you would like to have your story read on the next listener episode, which is Movie Magic, and then the theme after that is
identity theft.
Please email that to welilaughedpod@gmail.com. And if you're looking for additional content, we are on Patreon. And lastly, if you're looking for a great gift to get someone, or would just like to hear from us individually, you can find us on Cameo.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Okay, bye.